ती आमची दीदी 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 मस्त आहे म्हणजे ती temper dance with the noodle flying all over. Hmm. What's the plan? How long are you going to work? And then are you going? This fits here, this fits here, this fits here. So what have to do? इसका आयरन इसका कवर इधर क्या? Clean it up. Food is ready. I'm done. Now I can sit down. See? Ooh, ahí gay. One more thing. Just put it aside. Just give me. हरे कृष्णा देवा तू पावणे बाबा साहेब सातेरी माळसा नारायणी तू पावगे बाई हा इथे तू पा બીજી બધી આલે ગો
Yeah, why wouldn't it? I don't know. For some reason, did you put like lemon in it?
Right here. Okay. One more. That's good. Thank you. Kamu tahu? Pretty good.
What?
Pretty good.
Get rid of this. No more. This is
Don't worry,
old.
yeah. Machine डाल switch करने.
Huh? This is the last time you use it, okay?
Okay.
It's old.
Don't worry for you. For you, you have a
It doesn't matter.
clear कर लो. That's good. Thank you. No, no. Mm. 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 Mm.
Want candy?
Ah, ah.
Why are you looking here then?
आजा ये काट कर देना खाओ पर.
I already ate my lunch.
Ah. Wow, good food. Wow, wow. Amazing. Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm. Wow. Food. Very good food.
Forgot about popcorn?
Yeah. Nice to have you all on my live chat. Where you all are from. Please tell me where you all are from. That way we can discuss the places. Nice, very good food. Where you all are from? Hello, yes, hi. Analyst after a long time. Where are you right now? You are in. Yeah, I do. I do. What is that you want to discuss? Just brief me. If you need any help and you can do it. You don't like to write it down. Yeah, yeah, you're right in one way, but the other side is when you write and you can talk on the phone, but the most important is talk on the phone. Sometimes get deleted in my mind. If you write down, I can go back and refer. love it. I just love helping people. Right now, no, I am too busy with all that. Sorry. I love people. That's more important for me than anything else. Yeah, good, very good. Raspberry, very good fruit, very healthy fruit. Very, very happy. I love to help people. Good food, man. Very good food. Don't hesitate. Ask me any questions that you have that need answer. I'll help people. Help people. Love to help people. Mm. Mm-hmm. Ah. Constantly, I'm thinking how I can help people. You know, that's what I love to do. That's what gives me ananda, happiness. How many people? Very nice. Nice to everybody. I love to help you all. So if you have any question particular, please ask. Wow. Good food. Very good till the last bite. Whoa. There you go. Amazing. I'm telling you, when you cook your own food and when you enjoy, yes, that makes you feel good. See? Clean pan. Good. See? Look at it. Clean pan. Very nice. Good food, man. Amazing. Oh, thank you. God bless you all. Ah, nice. Thank you. Very good food, man. Very good food. Good food. Amazing, you know. Very tasty. Ah, ah. Done for the day.
संबंधों को बल मिलेगा। फ्रेंड्स, हमने रक्षा और सुरक्षा सहयोग के विभिन्न पहलुओं पर विस्तार से चर्चा की। एकता हार्बर प्रोजेक्ट में काम तेजी से चल रहा है। हम मालदीव नेशनल डिफेंस फोर्सेस की ट्रेनिंग और कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग में अपना सहयोग जारी रखेंगे। इंडियन ओशन रीजन में स्थिरता और समृद्धि के लिए हम मिलकर काम करेंगे। हाइड्रोग्राफी और डिजास्टर रिस्पांस में सहयोग बढ़ाया जाएगा। कोलंबो सिक्योरिटी कॉन्क्लेव में फाउंडिंग मेंबर के रूप में जुड़ने के लिए का स्वागत है। क्लाइमेट चेंज के लिए बड़ी चुनौती है। इस संबंध में सोलर और एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी में भारत अपने अनुभव मालदीव के साथ साझा करने के लिए तैयार है। एक्सेलेंसी, एक बार फिर आपका और आपके डेलीगेशन का भारत में बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। आपकी यात्रा हमारे संबंधों में एक नया अध्याय जुड़ रहा है। मालदीव के लोगों की प्रगति और समृद्धि के लिए हम अपना हर संभव सहयोग देते रहेंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. May I now request His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Muizzu, President of the Republic of Maldives, to give his remarks to the media.
Excellency Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of the Republic of India, distinguished members of both delegations, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
Underway in 36 states, the majority of the country. Early voting begins in the big state of Ohio tomorrow, and the election is now just 29 days away. The traditional debates, done. And tonight we could tell you marks another campaign tradition for the home stretch, the interview. On the long-running 60 Minutes show, a program that invites both nominees for their turn, millions watch, and the moments can be memorable.
You don't have any you're ready. No. Where do you get all this confidence?
My wife asks me that all the time.
Fair answer. Now Kamala Harris is taking her turn as a nominee on the 60 Minutes program tonight. In a contrast to Donald Trump, who's breaking that tradition. The gap there actually reflects something larger, a divergence in strategies, because while Republicans have been pushing these attacks where they say Harris is hiding out from all interviews, I bet you're familiar with that line of attack. That's something they did really from the moment she entered the race. And they claim that Trump does a lot more interviews. The reality, as tonight shows, is actually more complex. Harris did lay back from interviews in those first hectic weeks after she stepped up after Biden's exit. She did additional interviews on cable news and radio. You may recall recently she sat down with our colleague, MSNBC Stephanie Ruhle. She did a joint interview with her running mate, Tim Walz, on CNN. This week, she is mixing this traditional lane that I'm telling you about, like 60 Minutes, with a wider blitz, including new and different. So I'll come back to Trump skipping 60 Minutes in a couple minutes. But right now, I want to point out that the Harris strategy is actually broader than Trump. She's doing digital and podcasts to try to target listeners who might not follow news. Trump is campaigning for his with Elon Musk. He did digital appearances with him on X and other MAGA allies in these podcasting and streaming shows. So on the one hand, both campaigns targeting voters, and especially the less political younger voters I'm mentioning, through the newer platforms. But only one candidate right now, Donald Trump, is ducking the one-on-one interview with more traditional and independent journalists. He's bucking the 60 Minutes tradition. He's avoided MSNBC and CNN for the most part. The last major independent interview he did, in other words, with journalists, not just his own MAGA allies on streaming, was with the NABJ. And there is some news from Harris' podcast interview tonight. She did this big, unusual appearance with someone named Alex Cooper. And if you don't know her, I can tell you a heck of people do. She recently signed a $125 million deal with Sirius, which gives you an idea of her value according to media company's ecosystem. Her 10 million person audience for her show beats, frankly, local programming. She's kind of like the new Howard Stern. The show is called Call Her Daddy. It reaches a young audience that skews male. So Harris and her campaign are doing this quite deliberately. It's a different kind of interview, which is also a window into the issues that may be breaking through that audience. Cooper asking about J.D. Vance's attacks on women who do not have kids.
J.D. Vance called women who don't have kids childless cat ladies. What message do you think sends to women who cannot conceive or just don't want kids?
I just think it's mean and mean-spirited. And I think that most Americans want leaders who understand that the measure of their strength is not based on who you beat down. The real measure of their is based on who you lift up.
The governor of Arkansas said, "My kids keep me humble." Unfortunately, Kamala Harris doesn't have anything keeping her humble.
There are a whole lot of women out here who, one, are learning to be humble,
That's just some of that conversation, which is interesting, a little different. The interview is part of the broader series of interviews that include now, coming this week, the original King of Radio I mentioned, Howard Stern. Now, he hosted the president earlier this year. He's been vocally supportive of this Democratic ticket. So that's the Howard Stern interview Harris is doing coming up, plus The View, The Late Show with Colbert, and a whole Univision town hall. His allies view this blitz that I'm telling you about as kind of a twofer. She'll reach tens of millions of people beyond the political bubble. It's also, they think, a meta demonstration. The vice president can take all kinds of questions in all kinds of forums, rebutting the GOP talking point that suggested she wasn't doing enough interviews, while of course Fox, which we'll get to. But the other dynamic, before I turn to that, is how this campaign wants to showcase Kamala Harris's strengths. Remember, she came into this later than any nominee ever. And while she is the vice president, as I mentioned, plenty of people don't follow everything. So they want to find ways to continue to introduce her to people who follow politics less. And that means finding forums that work. Remember, Bill Clinton crushed town halls. It was his thing. His campaign was psyched to get one of the first debates in that format. So they got a debate with all the energy and televised audience that brings, with Clinton talking to people in that format. Obama with big speeches, and the campaign prioritized. Harris has connected with people for her kind of fun and off-the-cuff vibe. And so they're looking at how these other venues can prioritize that.
Because of the body starts from the neck down.
Right.
Instead of understanding we need health care also from the neck up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a gun owner too.
I did not know that.
If somebody breaks in my house, they're getting shot.
Yes, I hear that. I hear that.
Probably should not have said that.
Miley!
Hello.
Hi! How are you?
I am honored. Says with respect, you're kind of a show off. It's like,
Those are obviously different vibes. Harris mixing that flavor with the journalistic interviews. And that brings us back to this major tradition in U.S. politics that I mentioned. A tradition that is journalistic, that is designed to be fair, to draw in the nominees from both sides in a similar forum for the kind of in-depth exchange that's different than debates or other things. I'm talking about 60 Minutes, where for many decades, the giants of network news have tried to show us and draw out and also press both parties' presidential nominees.
To have reached some sort of an understanding and an arrangement.
Wait a minute. You're looking at two people that love each other. This is not an arrangement or an understanding.
I'm not sitting here as some little woman standing by my man like Tammy Wynette.
They think that Congressman Ryan's budget plan is just going to drive voters their way. How do you respond to that?
Well, what I respond is very simple, and that is America has a choice. You don't have any doubts that you're ready? No. Where do you get all this confidence?
My wife asks me that all the time.
Is he tough enough to be
But
president?
is tough being nasty? Toughness, shouting and being ugly and trying to stick a knife in somebody? Or is it principle?
Your first statement was, are you ready for questions?
Are you?
That's no way to talk. There's no way to talk.
One second, bro.
At this point, one of our producers interrupted to advise about the time remaining in the interview.
I think we have enough of an interview here, Hope. Okay, that's enough. Thanks. I'll see you in a little while. Thanks.
Be careful.
You invest in small businesses, you invest in the middle class, and you strengthen America's economy. Small businesses are part of the backbone of America's economy.
Pardon, Vice President. The question was, how are you going to pay for it?
Well, one of the things is I'm going to make sure that the richest among us who can afford it pay their fair share in taxes.
Initially accepting a request for an interview, Trump campaign decided they would not participate.
That is the tradition that passed, bringing you all the way up to the president. Now, Donald Trump's campaign initially accepted the request, presumably for the reason most candidates have. 60 Minutes reaches millions of people, and you wouldn't want to cede the turf and the airtime to your opponent here in the home stretch. Yet after the initial acceptance, Trump's campaign backed out. which means tonight, millions upon millions of people will be seeing only Harris and not Trump. So why? Well, Trump's campaign admits the journalistic fact-checking was part of the reason they don't want to do it, which is striking. And I want to be as clear and fair as possible. Campaigns, government officials, they can choose how to do press. There's no requirement or rule law here. And they can have their own views over who's fair, what topics should be emphasized. And there are many valid debates over all of that. If you deal with people who have experience in this area, we can explain how all that works. But here, the Trump aides are not even claiming some valid reason or concern about topics or something that, again, people could debate. They admit they're worried about the facts themselves. Just like they complained that there was too much fact-checking in the single Trump-Harris debate this year. The MAGA movement treats lying for Trump now.
Hi, how are you?
Lying about the last election, maybe lying about the next one. And it's gotten to the point Fox News, of course, by broadcasting those type of lies, ended up on the losing side of a massive defamation case. All of this is steeped within what else is going on. J.D. Vance himself admitted in front of the whole nation at his only debate that he opposed fact-checking, and the rules were negotiated differently in that debate, and to be as fair as possible. But whatever the rules said, when a candidate admits in public that fact-checking or the entry of facts into his claims would be bad for him and his campaign, bad for the Trump-Vance ticket, that is gobsmacking. That is not normal. That hangs over all of this and tonight's announcement here from 60 Minutes that the Trump folks are afraid to put him in a forum where he can be fact-checked. As for the Vance admission, this weekend's SNL turned that obvious fact into a punchline.
And just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants whose legal status, temporary protected status. Thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important because...
Put it out of the economy, thank
Margaret,
you.
the rules were that you got to get a fact check.
Senator Vance, your running mate refused to accept the results of the last election. Would you have certified the results?
You know, Nora, it's rich to say that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy when he peacefully gave over power. We said no fact-checking. And willingly, don't check that, got on his plane without incident, right after saving Obamacare, don't check that.
Don't check that. Don't do it. That's the punchline. It's not a good sign for any politician. The idea that fact-checking at a debate or on 60 Minutes would automatically be so bad for your campaign that you just admit it in public. And as you know, if you watch this program, we try to be very fair. And we hear from everyone within reason. And we hear from both sides. But we do it within facts. And adversarial fact-checking sometimes, if the people lying make it adversarial. But look, it is just about the facts. It is not normal, and we shouldn't pretend it's normal or let it be normalized to have a group of politicians and a growing share of one party admit in public that falsehoods or lies are their only path to power. That is not a both sides type of thing. The fact-checking isn't supposed to be partisan. And there are times when both parties have played with the truth. But when you admit fact-checking overwhelmingly hurts your campaign, you are exposing a problem, whether Vance realized it or not, when he coughed up that statement and under some, I guess, anxiety. So that's why the contrast on 60 Minutes tonight also matters and undercuts the MAGA claims that they said Trump does interviews and Harris hides. Trump and Vance right now are literally running away from the forums that confront them with facts.